Oh, geez, that makes me bristle every time.
It's like a very authoritative man has entered the room.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Earflute podcast. Uh, I'm your host, Llewis, and this is my co-host, Anthony Fantano.
Ooh.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So today we are listening to the Microphones and their seminal album, The Glow Pt.2.
Wait, what does seminal mean?
That's a really good question. Let's look that up.
Wait, you said the word. Do you not know what it means?
Seminal. I think I wrote seminal wrong. It's seminal.
Tomato.
One, of a work, event, moment, or figure strongly influencing later developments.
So
Or
are
my
you?
preferred description, two, relating to or denoting semen.
So you're telling me you used a big word without actually knowing what it means?
Well, I had an idea of what it means. I didn't have the dictionary memorized, okay?
I mean, that's everyone.
Yeah. So this is their fantastic album. Fantastic, showing my bias already. Their album, The Glow Pt.2. There is no Glow Part 1. The reason it's called The Glow Pt.2 is because the song on one of their previous albums was just called The Glow Part 1. And they wanted to expand on that theme and really kind of figure it out and wanted to, just explore it a little more. And so they made The Glow Part 2.
So what,
And
like Lemmy did with Motorhead, because Motorhead was the name of the song. He last did with Hawkwind, and he just made that into his. He took that and made that into his band.
I mean, I guess. I don't know anything about Motorhead other than they have a
Motorhead.
Motorhead. Yeah, so the Microphones, they're headed by a guy named Phil Everum. If you don't
Philly
know
E.
him, sorry.
Philly E.
Yeah, Philly E. We'll call him Philly E for now. If you don't know, he's like a pretty influential kind of music artist. He made his band called the Microphones, but then he made an album called Mount Erie, and then he changed the name of his band to Mount Erie. And then he released a lot of other music, and he's just a musical guy. I couldn't find a whole lot of background on this album. I think this was just one of their albums that they made, and then it just became super popular because it's really good.
That
But
tends
aside
to
from that,
happen.
yeah, that does tend to happen. So there's not like a huge story behind the making of this album, but there might be a story within the album. We'll see.
What? Story in my music? No, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Do you have the music up?
Hi.
All right. Let's listen to the first track. Oh wow.
What a nice song with a heart.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? What do you notice first off the bat?
It feels like gray.
Gray? How so?
Gray.
Like what specifically is making it gray? The lyrics?
Kind of the way is Philly the guy singing?
Yeah, it does sound kind of like that.
He sounds. I didn't even say what he sounds like. You're just like, yeah, he sounds like that.
Yeah. So
No, he
sorry.
sounds like. It's weird because this kind of feels like a I'm 14 and this is deep song, but I don't see any of those comments.
Right.
I don't
So
see
do you
any. But yeah, it's kind of like reminds me of like teenage angst.
hmm. So do you have the lyrics up?
Yes.
So what I think when I hear this song is especially off the first four bars, like the thunderclouds broke up, the rain dried up, the lightning read up, the clacking shutters just shut up. It's all pointing to something that happened in the past, like something either traumatic or something dark is kind of over now. And now it's just bleak or gray, as you say.
Yeah, I kind of took more from the second paragraph where it's like there's no black or white, no change in the light. That's very much like depressing, where like life has no flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So, no, you keep
it's
going.
kind of like it's like porridge,
Mm.
and I'm only saying that because I don't like porridge.
Yeah, it's got like that kind of oatmeal kind of texture, kind of gray.
Also, that what is that like washboard sound that like tingles your spine? What is
What do
that?
you mean?
You know what I mean.
The washboard sound, like the at the
Like
end?
no, it's like in the middle. It's like it's like someone dragging a like wooden dowel over a washboard.
Oh, that thing. Okay, what I think that is in like music rooms and schools where they have those just random percussion instruments. I remember in mine they had like something that looked like a fish and it was made of wood, and then they had like a metal stick that went with it, and the back of the fish was like super ridged, and you took the wooden rod, and you rubbed it against the back of the fish and made this kind of noise.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It
Hmm.
reminds me of it. Like it feels like they're doing that to my spine. It like
Yeah.
tingles.
So what do you
Also,
think
this
about? Sorry, you go on.
no, it's just that this reminds me of like a campfire song. Probably because
Hmm.
there's campfire in the actual
Album
cover.
artwork.
Also, I didn't realize how I thought the elephant didn't have any eyes. I thought it was a faceless elephant. Like that's kind of weird. And then I'm like, oh no, there is an eye.
Hmm. So what did you notice about the production?
It was produced.
Yeah, but compared to other songs you hear, what's the quality? It's hard to tell over YouTube because the sound is compressed anyway. But what did you pick up on?
It kind of has a soft feel.
Hmm.
It's
Did
not
you
exactly harsh. Well, kind of harsh. It's soft and harsh.
did you listen to the ending when it just kind of flipped out?
And it kind of goes to static.
Yeah, because of the drum. Just
You know what? You know what that ending reminds me of? Like
what?
insanely of the Planet Coaster soundtrack.
The Planet Coaster soundtrack. Hold
I
on.
don't know. I don't know why. It just sounds exactly like this one song that's in the Planet Coaster soundtrack.
Planet Coaster. Oh, that's like the spiritual successor to Roller Coaster Tycoon, right?
Yeah, what reminds me of this one song from their soundtrack. And if you've played it, you know what I'm talking about.
I haven't played it, but I probably
I
should
haven't
play
played
it.
it either, but I've watched enough videos to know what that song is.
That's
I'm
sick.
poor.
All right, so yeah, so this theme that comes up in the song of like bleakness and grayness might come back, might not. We'll see.
It's like, Philly, how you feel? I feel sad.
Hmm. Is there anything else you want to add before we
Uh,
move on?
I'm drawing a blank.
All right. Well, I guess it's on to the next song then.
My blood. It cut out.
Yeah.
Yo,
Well,
this is like when you watch. This reminds me of like when you watch the first snowfall of like autumn.
hmm. It's a nice
Ooh,
imagery.
autumn sounds
Well,
so pretentious.
I think it's good. I think it's fitting for this album. Why does that image come to your mind?
The start, kind of like the start, not the the start of the hard times. Winter is
The
coming.
beginning of the hard times. He also
Beginning of
says
the hard times.
he also mentions September. Could not get through September without a battle. Okay, by the way, this is for those playing at home. This is the title track of the album, the Glow Part 2. The previous track was called "I Want Wind to Blow." I should probably start saying the name of the tracks whenever they come up, just to give people some
Yes.
perspective. So, second track on the album is also the title track, the Glow Part 2. So, what is the glow? What do you think the glow is?
Life. That's it.
Really?
That's pretty simple, but like life, good,
So,
the
life as
most
in like life
the most
likeness?
basic, the most basic good things, all the good things.
Is it like passion and like not necessarily love passion, but just like encouragement or just like something driving, right?
The things that make you want to live.
Right,
The
yes.
glow of life.
Hmm.
The glow of life and the fading of death. You
So
know what this reminds me of? Like
what?
just the feeling of Dark Souls.
The feeling of dark. I have wow,
Because
really?
have you ever looked at the lore of Dark Souls?
I've looked up some of it, yeah.
Every single game is basically set in like the good times are far gone, and it's just a very slow. You're everyone knows you're at the end. You're people desperately just trying to keep keep the good times going, but they're not. It's just a slow descent. It
There is
doesn't
that.
feel like the good times are ever even existed, even though they say it just feels like ash.
Hmm. So within the context of this album, right? The good times were past. If when we listen to "I Want Wind to Blow," everything stopped and it's just kind of gray. Then it moves on to this song, where it probably, where from your interpretation, everything's kind of fading away and it's all gone in the past. So something happened in the past to our character, if we're assuming that this is a character in these songs. Something happened to that character in the past and now they're in this situation. Would you agree with that?
I would suppose. Granted, my interpretations are usually always wrong.
Hey, don't say that.
I am the big dumb.
No, don't say that.
I could
Your
say it if I
interpretation is
wanted
valid. You're an artist. Or you're not an artist. Well, you are an
to.
artist. You can interpret things however you want to. And keep in mind the people writing this were probably real smart and knew that some people would probably interpret it the way that you were to interpret it. What do you think of
It's
the final few lyrics?
like you're all right, all right. Let me get my smart person glasses on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know where they are, so I'm just gonna pretend like I have them on. Okay. So it's like my chest still draws breath. He's saying that in sort of a I surprise. He doesn't he's not expecting himself to still be alive. He's like, it's still doing I'm still alive, and
Yeah.
he holds it. He holds it. Why does he hold it? Why? He holds it in maybe
He's
he wants to
buoyant.
suffocate himself. And
No, but he's
he's
buoyant
floating, he's floating.
because he held his breath.
He is floating uh directionless. He knows not where to go. He is just floating in the air. He cannot reach the ground nor the sky. He knows not where he is. There is no end. He is stuck there. He cannot go anywhere.
But he's
He is
alive.
he is still alive. He's like Cars from JoJo's Part 2.
I
He is
haven't seen that.
alive, but he cannot
Oh,
die.
Cars. Yes.
He cannot die, but he wishes to.
And then there's the lyrics before it. It's like, I'm not dead. There is no end. My face is red. My blood flows harshly. My blood flows harshly. He holds it for like 15 seconds.
This is how it would go if I was him. My blood.
It might come up again. Blood flowing. Might come up again in the album. Might not. Just teasing.
Blood is good.
Blood is life.
Blood is life.
And as we've established, the glow could be life.
Yes. I said that in my preaching.
Yes, as you established.
As I established, yeah.
Oh, it's good. This is actually really good. This is a way more. You're drawing way more from this than when I did when I first listened to this album. When I first listened to it, it's like, no, you're not. This is just how people analyze things. When I first listened to this, I'm like, oh, sad guitar boy. I don't like this. But then I put the album down and didn't listen to it again for like a couple months. And then I watched Anthony Fantano's review, and it's like, this is a classic apparently. Oh, so then I decided to give it another shot. And I kind of read the lyrics a little bit more, not too much. And then I kind of liked it a little more. And then I listened to it a couple more times over again. And now I've gotten to this point where I can analyze it. But you're way ahead of me.
I know that saying this will probably get people very, very mad, but it reminds me of Green Day.
Why?
Well, obviously, because September, it's like Wake Me Up When September Ends.
Oh, yeah.
And also Sad Guitar Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And to reiterate, Philly, how you feel, I feel sad.
Oh.
That is what that's going to be my takeaway from this entire album. Just, Philly, who hurt you?
Phil Ephraim.
What's wrong, Philly? What's wrong, boy?
Although
that sounds really condescending.
What is kind of sad is that later on in his career, when he was working with Mount Erie, his wife died, and he wrote an album called A Crow Looked at Me, and it's honestly one of the saddest albums I think I've ever heard.
Sadder than Fallen Kingdom?
Ooh, that might be a toughie. I don't know.
Fallen Kingdom is an actual masterpiece.
Fallen Kingdom is great. But we're not here to talk about Fallen Kingdom. We're here to talk about the microphones. We're ready to listen to their next song.
What's it called?
The Moon. I hope you pulled up lyrics.
There were a lot of them.
But did you pull them up? Because I was saying I hope you pulled up the lyrics.
I was more surprised. I was like, why there's synth in a sad song? Does that even happen? Can that happen?
I don't think that's synth. I thought that was a saxophone.
Well, I mean, a saxophone can be sad, but I heard some synth in there, and I'm thinking,
Is it just the static kind of the humming throughout the whole song?
Maybe. Because like synth is like the hardest thing to make sad. Like imagine a new wave band making a sad song. Seems impossible.
Well, that could just be the genre too.
What is this genre? I have no idea.
So this is just indie, kind of lo-fi indie rock. It's in the same genre as Neutral Milk Hotel, actually.
So the type of music that someone would be like, "Oh, this is my favorite band." You wouldn't have heard about it.
Yeah, that's
that kind of genre.
That's because when these albums were coming out, what year did the Microphones release this album again?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Microphones Glow Part 2 release date. So the album released 2001 September 25th. What makes indie is that it's literally independent music. So people who make this kind of stuff are independent artists. And when they record it and release it, they don't have the money to go to a large record label and ask them to distribute it. So they have to distribute it locally. So Mount Erie and by extension, the Microphones could only really release this album to Seattle and the Washington state as a whole because that was the cheapest way to get this around. Which is why I think that's where that whole stigma comes from of, oh, you probably haven't heard of this band because it's a local band. The internet came up, and with the rise of YouTube and rateyourmusic.com, these albums actually retroactively became much more popular, and so started to become much more widespread and recognized as just incredible pieces of music. So albums like In the Airplane Over the Sea, which I've been talking about a lot for Neutral Milk Hotel, that was an independent album released, I think, in 2000. Then other albums like it too were just coming up, and that's just how indie music became popular retroactively. Oh, and Arcade Fire too.
Yo, bro, check out my mixtape.
What?
It's like, yo, bro, check out my mixtape.
Yeah.
I just realized, by that logic, modern indie music is
Isn't indie.
SoundCloud rappers. Kind of.
Don't. No.
Depends on what you consider indie.
It can't be. No.
If it means that you're not part of a record label, that's like a lot.
Yeah.
It's like most music.
Well, I think they were part of a local record label, but they're not part of like the big one. But I don't know this for certain. This is just what I've read. I don't know if there's like a source to back up this kind of back up this kind of that idea. But to me, that makes the most sense. Hey, postmodernism. So let's dissect these lyrics, shall we?
Please do not mention postmodernism. I'm still confused.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Oh, lots and lots to unpack here. Oh man. So first off, what stuck out to you?
How quiet the lyrics were.
Mm-hmm. He's almost like mumbling, and then on top of that, there's like this fog of like drone over his voice.
Reminds me kind of of sludge metal, which we will get to next time.
Ooh. Hey, teasing's supposed to come after the album.
I don't care. I'm doing it now.
Nice. So why do you think that is?
Because it kind of blends into the music more when it's quieter and you can't really make out the lyrics as much.
It kind of puts more emphasis on the music being played, right?
Yes.
Interesting. So if you pull up the lyrics page, which most people probably do anyway when they listen to this song, also a lot of lyrics, and kind of written in almost like a story almost. What do you think? It's a lot to unpack, but
there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah. So, but what do you think is the gist of it? What's the gist of this?
A lot about the moon, but that's a given considering it's called the moon.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like nostalgia because they're going to the place where you grew up, kind of remembering.
Kind of the past. It's very vague too. Not a lot of detail. That could just be for the sake of writing lyrics, but I mean, the lack of detail and coupled that with the kind of the dense kind of music itself, it's almost like the fog of memory.
To quote the greatest philosopher to ever exist, I'm just trying to find it here.
The philosopher who greatest ever existed.
Yes.
Forget his name.
No, I know his name, but I'm waiting for me to actually get the. Oh no, Chrome doesn't like me today.
Is it crashing?
Yes. Okay, so it was it it's Master Oogway, the greatest man ever to exist.
Right?
And to quote him, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it's called the present. And I feel like this is very much the yesterday is history. It's very
Mm.
focused on that.
What keeps coming up in his history? So what is he remembering specifically?
The feelings of the small town, what the actions they did
But who's they?
about the author point of view person,
And
the protagonist, and also someone who they refer to as you.
mm-hmm.
So it might be me, but probably not me because
Yeah. I don't really
I'm
get that
not.
from reading this.
I'm trying to make sense because I did the misfortune of not reading the lyrics as I listened to it, and now I'm trying to.
Oh, that's okay. I'll give you some time.
Oh, regret. There's a lot of regret. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it emanating from this almost crashing Chrome page. I regret using Chrome.
Here, I'll copy and paste the lyrics into Discord. How about
I
that?
don't. No, it's back. I got it.
But just in case. Oh, it's too long anyway.
The
Whoops.
moon. The blue night of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Like the moon, my chest was full. That doesn't
Hey,
make any sense.
no, it does because it's a full moon.
Oh, but how can your chest be full? It's already
Have you ever
full.
had heartache? Have you ever had, you know,
I
felt
feel no
sad for something?
feelings.
Oh, dang it.
I am an emotionless robot. I am the Terminator.
Or
I
maybe it's just
will
like,
be back.
you know, when you well up with confidence, you know, the cartoon character puffing up his chest because he's super strong. Maybe that's something like this too. We didn't talk, and silently we both felt powerful. Hmm.
They can break the glass ceiling that holds us all down,
Yeah,
and they can let all oppressed groups prosper, and especially the most oppressed group of all,
gamers.
gamers.
Funny.
Have you seen that?
I have seen it.
Seen that clip? It's great.
I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm the Joker, baby. I'm a jokester.
Wanna know how I got these scars? I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Anyways, let's get back to this
I want to hear an
analysis.
Italian Joker. That'd be great.
I think this
It's a
song is
me, a
pretty.
Joker.
Yeah, I think this song is pretty important because. Would you like to hear my interpretation?
Yes, because I don't have a mind. Yes.
So, I think he's reminiscing about a special person in his life. Could be a guy, could be a girl. And that just didn't work out somehow. Um, there's a
Made a
specific lyric I'm
workout.
trying to find. Yeah, it didn't work out.
Oh, I thought you
Because
talked about they were working out.
no, they weren't working out. It was working out, and then it didn't. You know, it
I'm
was a
thinking
lot of like tender, almost tender lyrics like I lied in bed with you, etc. Or there's one specific one, I just can't find it. Where is
working out. I thought you meant like they were pumping iron together.
it? Yeah. It was intense just getting to be there next to you, and you were trying to get me then, and I was happy to let you in. I went back and wished I hadn't. I went back and felt regret. I went back to the beach and I stared west.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds like someone's a bit manipulative. Sounds like someone did a bit something bad.
Mm-hmm.
Someone did a
But
big oopie.
are you sure? Because He doesn't go into details at all. He just kind of, it's just all feeling. Also, the final 4 bars, I went out last night to forget that. I went out and stared it down, but the moon just stared back at me, and in its light, I saw my 2 feet on the ground. I really like this ending because he goes out to confront the moon, which the moon could be like,
You stole my girl.
maybe the moon, maybe it did, or maybe the moon represents the glow. Maybe the moon is life, and he's just not, because the moon keeps shining on them whenever they're doing something, right? Under the power of the moon, they slept under the power of the moon. They they um they go out and they stare at the moon.
Maybe this.
The moon is present in each of their memories. So he goes out and to confront the moon, like metaphorically or literally, to kind of maybe overcome it. But in the lyric, but the moon just stared back at me, and in its light, I saw my 2 feet on the ground. So in the end, he wasn't even trying to stare up at the moon. He was actually just staring at his own feet. So he had the intention of standing up to the moon, but really he couldn't muster the courage.
Maybe since the moon represents life and the glow,
Right.
this person left him because he's being a bit of a bummer drummer, and he's like, I'm gonna be with someone who actually feels, and he's like, ugh, the moon, you took it away from me.
Yeah,
Ah,
could be that too.
we should blow you up. I wish to steal the moon like grew from despicable me,
Da. Yeah.
and then I can get some gorals.
Ugh.
And then you can have the most marketable minion possible. Yeah.
But yeah, this kind of ties back into the theme though that we were talking about earlier. Sadness, obviously, but sadness because something happened in the past.
I mean, who really cares about themes? Like, remember what D&D said for Game of Thrones? Themes
But
are like for the eighth year, or for like eight eighth grade eighth grade English projects, because those writers clearly showed all of us how themes don't matter by screwing up Game of Thrones.
I didn't read Game. Who reads Game of Thrones at grade 8?
What? No,
You said
no. You know the writers for the
right.
Game of Thrones TV show.
Oh,
They
I don't
said
watch Game of Thrones, dude.
they said like, oh, themes are dumb. They're for like eighth grade science, eighth grade English projects. We don't need themes. And then the last the last season of Game of Thrones was awful because it had no themes.
Yeah,
So yeah, I was making fun of how, oh, who cares about themes?
I see what you're doing. I see. I see.
I do the funny.
Mm-hmm. All right. Shall we move on to the next song?
No, let's talk about themes for another hour.
Let's do it.
Let's 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 bring back grade 12 English class.
But we already
How
kind
does
of,
this make you feel? How does it make you feel?
Alex, this is the point of the podcast.
Oh, oh right, I forgot it.
Ah. Anyways, moving on. We got a lot of ground to cover. This is only the 4th track out of 20.
Yeah, but some of them are just instrumentals.
Fair. So 4th track out of 16.
Okie dokie, let's do the bokeh.
All right.
Headless
Next
Horseman.
song,
This
Headless
sounds
Horseman.
like a metal song.
All right, sure.
It does.
All right. Let's just get it done.
Get her done.
Oh, finally a short song.
Yes. All right. First of all, I'm getting. I don't know why I thought this, but
Mhm.
I'm just imagining like this guy. This guy becomes a headless horseman, and
Yeah.
he just kind of awkwardly walks into his house and just completely just stares at this lady and just like walks in circles as he like contemplates to himself. And for some reason, he has like the voice of Skeletor, and
Skeletor.
he's like, I have come
Yeah.
for you, He-Man.
Just walking in circles.
You have destroyed me, and now I feel sad.
Yeah.
You have made me into monster.
So
What have
so
you
this album
done?
this album is about coming out as a furry.
No, I can see that.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That would have been interesting though.
Yeah.
Is there a furry music genre?
Oh God, I hope not.
There probably is. I'm
Yep.
I, I'm so happy to get all the people that are like obsessed with this album to watch this podcast, and then they'll be thinking like they're making fun of it. They're making fun of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of what we do.
Do we do that though?
I don't
Do
know. That's
we?
what I do. I make fun of
I
things I
don't.
like.
I don't know what I do.
I make fun of things I like all the time.
I mean, yeah,
Like I
that's
love
kind
this
of.
album, but it's also super emo and crybaby.
He really likes staring people down. I
Yeah.
think he might have a communication disorder.
So personally, I think this might be one of the weakest songs on the album. Because I think the song the not to say this is a bad song. This is a good song, in my opinion. But I think this album works a lot better when it's more than just him and his guitar. Like when there's other instruments playing or other band members. Because I've noticed that those kind of songs are when there's actual like movement within a story or a development of some sorts. Because this song, we already kind of know what's going on, right? Uh,
Basically,
we're not getting
guy
any new information. Guy
basically
gets
guy
sad.
goes through one heartbreak, and now he's become Terminator,
Yep.
feeler of none.
Feeler of none. He's got a flaming pumpkin head. So a Halloween theme. Halloween's like in 3 days.
I can't wait to shoo all the kids off my front lawn
Mm-hmm.
and
It's
throw
like
candy at them.
I just imagine Jack Skellington with his head on fire.
Oh, I'm thinking of like Skeletor.
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 Yeah.
He's except that he has like the flaming skull head that one comic book character that I can't remember has. Flame Rider, Fire Rider, Edgy Boy.
Uh,
What's his face?
is it the guy played by
But
I
except he has a
cannot remember
motorcycle.
anybody's face or name. Oh, he's like the king of the B actors. He's in like
Christopher Lee?
have you seen Face Off?
No.
Seen The Wicker Man?
Christopher Lee was in that.
No, but not the bees.
Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage, yes. Are you talking about the movie where Nicolas Cage is riding the bike?
And he's like a flaming skull head.
Yep.
Yeah. Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Riders of
I
the
like how
Storm.
I like how you're saying like, oh, in the Wicker Man. I'm like, Christopher Lee was in the Wicker Man. He was.
Yeah. So this song is actually about I forgot his name again. Oh, I forgot his name again. I'm so stupid. Philly?
Billy Boy.
Billy?
Bill
Who?
Man.
Bill. I don't know who. Bill Water? What?
Philly Man. The Philster, the guy who sings this.
Oh, Phil Evram. No, this isn't about Phil Evram. This is about the actor who plays Ghost Rider coming out as a fur.
Why are we talking about
I don't know. Yeah, so Phil Evram is sad boy because he was broken up with.
Isn't that like every song? It's either about we are in love or you betrayed me, I'm sad.
Well, it's the most popular song topic for sure. And
That's why
I'm
I
gonna be
like
honest,
metal.
for this first 10 songs on this album, it doesn't really progress much farther than that. But
Yeah.
then the second part of this album actually kicks things into gear.
That's why I like metal, because metal talks about stuff that's way more important than love. They talk about like
They talk
serial
about love too.
killers and serial killers and butchering people, the fun stuff.
This album has a bear attack in it.
Bears freak me out. I
Yeah.
don't like them. They're terrifying.
Regardless. So not much to talk about on this song. So let's just move on to the next one. The next
Let's
one.
skedaddle.
My roots are strong and deep. It's about a
Ooh.
tree.
Oh. Well, so
Maybe.
it's something else. My
All right.
seed is strong.
Okay, but yeah. Mhm. I'll be honest. I have no idea what that song is about. I think it's
Wait,
just
wait.
about a tree.
I
What?
have an idea.
What?
Okay. He says, with hot, hot lava hair. I
Yes.
believe this song is directed towards Lava Girl
I was
from
thinking
Shark
the
Boy and
exact
Lava
thing. I
Girl.
was thinking the exact same thing. Oh
Yo,
yeah.
I always thought that movie was like a fever dream I had.
It kind of is if you think about it.
You ruined my dream journal.
I did not.
Mr. Electric, send them to the principal's office and have them
And I'm
expelled.
expelled. Yo.
But
Oh.
I'm on Genius,
Mm-hmm.
which is another word for
200
people
IQ.
that 200 IQ. Well, actually, the song's about the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I be flossing.
Anyways,
That was a great lyric analysis.
absolutely, I'd be flossing.
Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, this is kind of like I don't know why this album kind of makes me feel like I'm in the forest, just kind of
Yep.
walking around and contemplating my entire life, which everyone does at some point.
Yep.
And I think to myself,
What
what
a
went
wonderful
wrong,
life.
Alex?
Oh.
And then I remember what went wrong. I don't know. No one knows. Do we
Yep.
really know? I don't.
Have you been to Washington?
Yes.
So you know how
Wait,
like
DC or no?
no, like
I've
the
been to
state.
Seattle more
Yeah.
times than I would like to say, because Seattle's a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So but you know like have you driven there? Like have you seen
Yes,
like
I have.
so it's all just like nature everywhere. There's trees and mountains and it's just picturesque.
And hippies.
It's British Columbia pretty much.
And hippies.
Yeah. So this album is a bit hippie in that nature keeps coming up over and over again.
Just live in the nature, dude.
Yeah.
Yo,
All right.
little story time about BC.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I went to this one town in like BC, and there's like a whole bunch of golf courses there, and it's so weird because it feels like you're driving in like this massive uh pine forest, and then all of a sudden there's this weird like petting zoo slash mini golf slash amusement park that's hidden in the trees, and you're thinking like this is some trippy stuff. Yeah, it's pretty. But yeah, I like Seattle,
Yeah.
but currently it's not a very nice place.
No.
Sorry, everyone from Seattle.
The
All
the
all
the
zero
zero.
people. All
Zero
zero
people.
people.
Uh anyways, we got a lot of ground to cover, so let's just jump to the next one. Instrumental. We'll listen to it and then maybe talk some more. Just get it.
Yes. Uh-oh.
So what happened?
Were we supposed to skip the instrumental?
No.
Okay, good.
Did you skip it?
No.
Okay, good. Did you listen to it?
Yes. It was
Cool.
very instrumental.
That's awesome. Not much to talk about here. Let's listen to the next song. Maybe we should skip the instrumentals, but I want us to listen to them. I don't know. What do you think?
What was your thoughts on the instrumental known as
Did you watch the music video?
There's a music video?
Yeah, on the playlist.
Oh, there it is. Looks pretty generic.
It's literally just like grainy footage of people running around.
That's a pretty good way. There's a good descriptor for this music. Grainy.
Yep. Grainy, sad, gray porridge.
I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough,
Of course. Yeah.
and it gets everywhere.
Gets everywhere.
It just gets everywhere. It's coming into my house.
Did you know that the sand is a metaphor for his home?
It's almost like he was born on the sand.
Mhm.
The sand planet.
Yep.
He's a sand person.
Anyways, let's just listen to the next song and then we have something to talk about.
What, the mansion?
Yeah. The next song is The Mansion. Yeah.
I'm guessing there's a lot of things.
Yep. Whenever I hear this song, I always think of like JoJo's Part 2 or the guy dies in the mansion.
Yes.
What's his name?
Jesus!
Yep. Because it's so sad and they're in a mansion. And
it reminds me a bit of Tool. It kind of has that weird, like, echoey effect. Feels like you're in a haunted mansion in the middle of nowhere.
But there's no door into it.
Then it's just it's just a big place. I can visualize. Okay, I can visualize a big forest of pine, probably because this guy is from Washington, and that's what
Woodland
Washington
Mansion.
Is.
It's a woodland mansion from Minecraft.
Oh my goodness, we can get the thing that make us not die. Oh. But
maybe, sorry.
Except that he like walks into this just big empty mansion, except that there's no ceiling, so it's just walls.
Yeah, walls tall between the treasure and the shovel. Ooh.
As he's going through like a personal crisis.
Yeah.
He's just walking around. He's just walking around thinking about sadness, and then he walks into this ruin, and he's like, "This ruin is what I feel like, decrepit. There's no ceiling because there's no future. There's nothing. Wait, never mind. I was gonna say there's nothing holding me back, but that's positive, and nothing in this album can be positive."
You don't know that. Maybe there's something positive here. Maybe maybe the mansion was evil.
Is this about global warming?
I don't know. It's written in 2001.
That last line, there's no crack of dawn and no morning, just an everlasting warming. And I'm like, that sounds like global warming.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just epic foreshadowing.
Everlasting warming, that's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't it just get hotter and hotter?
Yeah.
Or would it just, and then eventually you're just like, I'm on fire.
Or maybe it's that feeling you get when like you're really cold and you enter. It's like, and it's just that feeling.
So what do you think this means?
I have no idea. The song is just about a mansion.
Get your Spy Kids glasses that zoom in and analyze.
But no, he contradicts himself because earlier he says, there is weird and lasting sadness. There's no large and lengthy warming. Yet at the end he says it's just an everlasting warming. What is going on?
Character development. I don't know.
Maybe this is a dream and this is just a fever dream.
Yes. The greatest literary technique It was all a dream.
It was all a dream. I used to read something magazine.
Harry Potter? Nope.
Yep.
Dream. Lord of the Rings? Dream.
Ash Ketchup? That was real.
Ash Ketchup?
Yep.
Ash Ketchum?
Yep.
As in catch 'em all?
Okay, so I want to say something first. The next two songs are both titled something, but they're separate songs. Do you have that on whatever you're listening to?
Yes.
So we're just going to listen to both of them. One of them is an instrumental, and then I think the other one has some singing in it.
The thing is, we can't really talk about how the music sounds because it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
The same sort of sad, grainy guitar boy.
Yep. But once we get to like the 10th and after the 10th song, it actually starts to develop a little more, which is really good. Because it's just so mushy right now. This is the part of the album that just made me really lose interest. It's because it's just the same. And again, it's just him and his guitar. There's not really a lot of development. So anyways, let's get this over with. Let's listen to both somethings and then we'll come back.